Cyclone MMA.
You're barking up the wrong tree, motherfucker. That was a really bad Bryce Mitchell impression. I feel like the John Silva impression was spot on, though. That's cringe. I'm sorry to start the video off with cringe. This video is sponsored by Aquafina. John Silva versus Bryce Mitchell. Mwah. Just a beautiful fight to just throw into that main card of UFC 314. We're going to preview this fight. We're going to talk about it, and then I'm going to give you my prediction of how this one's going to go down. Because this is a banger alert. This is going to be interesting. This is one where you're watching those, the pre-fight, like Bruce Buffer announcing both fighters, and they're staring at each other, and Bryce Mitchell probably has a Bible, and he's yelling, "Freedom!" John Mitchell's just fucking... John Mitchell. Who's that guy? Not John Silva, but John Mitchell. I don't know, man. It's going to be bananas. What a couple of spazzes, what a couple of weirdos just like going to be fighting in here. You got the fighting nerd. You got John Silva. He's perfect in his UFC run right now. He's only got 3 fights in the UFC. He's got no, that's a lie. He's got 4 fights in the UFC, and he has 1 Dana White Contender Series fight. He got a decision on the Contender Series, and he's got 4 knockouts, and he keeps elevating his level of competition-ish. Actually, that's not true at all. He fought Weston Wilson, got a knockout in the first round. Got a knockout of Charles Jourdain in the second round. Then he fought Drew Dober on like a couple days' notice, like a week's notice. Went up a weight class, fought Drew Dober, cracked him, knocked him out in the third round. He was piecing up Drew Dober too. And then he has a win over Melsik Bagdasarian, who took the fight on a day's notice, or a couple days' notice, I think. Who is he supposed to fight? Forget who he's supposed to fight, but he knocked that dude out in the first round. John Silva and the Fighting Nerds team is just terrifying. And who is he supposed to fight there? I don't know. Anyways, fuck that. Whatever. This Fighting Nerds team is terrifying. They're knocking out everybody. Their striking's crazy. Their power is crazy. And this is really cool storyline wise, because I don't know if you guys know this, but Bryce Mitchell's been saying some crazy shit, and he got in a little bit of trouble. We don't have to talk about what he said, but he said some crazy shit. And let's look at Bryce Mitchell's UFC run now and see, how it compares. Bryce Mitchell's been here for a hot second at this point. He's been here since 2018. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 fights in the UFC now, and he's fought guys like Josh Emmett, Dan Ige, Edson Barboza, Andre Fili. He's got some really, really, really good experience. He's got some brutal losses. The Ilia Topuria loss, that was tough. That was like, I'm not going to say what I was going to say. I almost just said some crazy shit. But it just seemed like a larger, more mature man beating the shit out of a younger, less mature, inexperienced man. You can kind of bridge the gap of where I was going there. It's going to be pretty dark. That was a brutal loss. But then we found out that Ilia Topuria is the guy. Started knocking out everybody's favorite fighter, making everybody cry. Got a win over Dan Ige after that, which was really nice. Dan Ige's a great fighter. He was able to control him and just out-wrestle him and win a decision. Then he fought Josh Emmett. Ouch. Then he fought Kron Gracie and got that knockout with like the elbow slam. And that's a good win. Kron Gracie's one-dimensional. Let's just say that. He's got some great wins. Charles Rosa, Andre Fili, Edson Barboza's a great win. I see this John Silva fight going like the Josh Emmett fight, though. I just question the chin. I question Bryce Mitchell's current state of mind. I think everything that's been going on is kind of fucked with him. I could be wrong. I don't know. It seems like the UFC put a hit out on Bryce Mitchell, and they sent John Silva, the fighting nerd who barks and brings globes to press conferences, to take out Bryce Mitchell. If Bryce Mitchell's able to pull this off, it's going to be really impressive, and he's going to talk some shit to John Silva if he does pull it off. But I see John Silva getting the knockout. The fight I look at is the Charles Jourdain John Silva fight, and I'm like, how did that play out? Because that could be telling. Now, Charles Jourdain is not the wrestler like Bryce Mitchell is, but he was able to land 3 of 7 takedowns. So he had 42% on his takedown accuracy. And with those 3 takedowns, he only had 1 minute and 17 seconds of control time. Now, that's pretty good in regards to John Silva. He's able to get it back on the feet. He's able to not just be on his back and stay on his back. He's really going to be put to the test by Bryce Mitchell, though. Every round, Bryce Mitchell is going to be going for the takedown, I would assume. If Bryce Mitchell chooses to stand, that's a whole other can of worms and a whole other issue for Bryce Mitchell. But if he gets the takedowns, I think he's going to be harder to get up from compared to a Charles Jourdain. But I think ultimately John Silva has 3 cracks at finding that chin. The fight starts on the feet, and every round it starts on the feet. And Mitchell's going to be going for that takedown. I think John Silva's going to be able to stuff some of them. I just don't trust that Mitchell can last 15 minutes in that octagon without getting cracked by Silva, because the dude's just a wrecking machine. He hits so hard, and he's got really, really good striking. If you look at his record as a fighter, he just has so many finishes. I just don't trust that Mitchell's going to be able to, stay away from that right hand, from those hooks, from those straights, and find a way to win. So I'm going John Silva. I'm excited for this fight. I don't think it's as lopsided as the prediction or as the betting lines are saying. I don't want to say it's a pick'em, but I see Bryce Mitchell having a path to victory here. If he's able to do what he did against a striker like Barboza and just keep taking him down, keep grinding him out, keep punishing him, there's a path to victory, but I see John Silva catching him. I see a lot of knockouts on this main card for UFC 314. I see some finishes. I feel like this card has a lot of potential to be really, really, really exciting. So that's the video. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know who you think is going to win in the comment section below. I think a lot of you guys are pulling for Bryce Mitchell. I see the like-dislike ratio on some videos I've made in the past, and I think y'all are going for Bryce Mitchell. So let me know. Let me know how he does it. All right, guys. Peace out.